Hello everybody and welcome to the Moto Mill. Today we've got the ultimate trifecta of Yamaha minis. Let me know in the comments which one of these bikes would have made you the baddest kid on the playground back in the day. Because right now I'm probably leaning towards the yz80. Before we get into too much here, let me go over a few things. The gt80 MX, that's made to replicate a 1973 in the front, it's truthfully a 1975 Enduro. And the yz80 that appears to be a 1975 truthfully is a 1974 first model year. There's a couple differences in those machines, mainly I believe in cylinder porting. But these are all pretty neat machines from back in the day. The jt1 would have been the earliest one released. Then you would have had this nice gt80 MX coming around in 73. But by 74, you would have had the very high horsepower yz80. This was one of the first truthfully mean minis. When I compare this bike to my TM75, it's silly. And when I even bring an XR75 in there, the XR does better than you'd expect, really. But I think I would still choose the yz80. We'll do another video like that very soon. In fact, I believe the first video I do of actually starting and riding these bikes around, I might do with this yz80, just because it would be an easy one for me to do, with it being such a small little bike. Now, I do have a horrendous shifter on there. And that shifter's off a AT1 with the electric start armature and everything. Gotta change that. It does make this bike a pain to shift. I'm always scared I'm gonna rip my toes off on something or rip the shifter off. I've had all these bikes for a pretty long amount of time. After I ended up building that little GT80, I did end up coming up with a real GT80 MX. It took me a little while, but of course right after I built that bike's when I got it. These are always really cool. Even being a little 60, it always pulls around a full-grown person without too much difficulty. I think where the GT80, sitting a little taller, actually beats that JT1 is the fact that it's got a 5-speed gearbox in it. That makes all the difference for the GT. If you look, you'll see I've got a really cool Webco head on there. Some Webcos from back in the day weren't too attractive, but this one here is a pretty sweet radial. It looks good. I've got a Webco on my MX360, but it's one of those huge fin ones. I don't know how good it really looks, but it's neat. I've thought about returning the yz80 back to the silver and red color that the 74s would come in stock. The problem is now having the GT80, I almost wonder if I don't want to just leave it yellow instead of having another silver bike with stripes on it. Plus it's, I don't know, still looks halfway decent. It's cheaper to leave it the way it is, so it'll probably stay that way for quite a while. Little JT1 here is basically 100% original. I am actually the second owner of this bike. I came from a really nice family of people, and they all were like there as a thing to when they were selling it. It was a really wholesome experience actually buying this bike, and so I really like this bike. They always took pretty good care of it. It's a nice survivor. But you'll see it's got some pretty neat things on it, like it's got that little rotary motor where that carb's situated under the cover, where the oil pump would be on the larger Enduros. Big change from the way the carburetor sits on these bikes. Sits back behind there. Now you'll notice a few differences comparing these two bikes. One of the biggest ones is the exhaust. It came with slightly different porting as well. That YZ was much more aggressive. I've got this GT80 ported out a little bit, so it brings it together. You'll notice this bike's got the steel front fork lowers in comparison to the aluminum offerings on the YZ. You can also notice that there's a big change in the hubs. I don't notice a difference in braking power, but I'm sure the YZ hub is significantly lighter. These bikes are already so small that it's kind of hard to feel that really, because you can throw them all around pretty good. But if you want to see these bikes ride around, I'm probably going to get a few people together in the near future, and we'll put all these bikes through their paces at the same time. Right now, this is just kind of the appetizer for that. So please subscribe and stay tuned, everybody. We're going to do a lot more with these. And like I said, even the competition for that YZ, we're going to do XR75 and TM75. Got a big plethora of these old mini bikes. And we'll see how they all do. Thank you, everybody.